Now watch this. You can be a prostitute and get away with it, but if you commit adultery, you were stoned. And so watch how the world change. It's because now you can commit adultery and some folks will pat you on the back. But if you commit prostitution, you're going to jail. And so it has changed from back then. And so now, and watch this, because now the world has gotten so bad, we have begun to glorify things that ain't God. And so that's why there's certain people sitting in certain offices, because we begin to glorify them and not God. And when you keep your eyes on God, there's certain things that will never have control over you. And he'll be sitting in your recliner. And I'm trying to figure out, how did you get here? It's because I took my eyes off God. And he slipped in my living room and he began to watch my TV. And watch this. It seems that he liked the same shows I like. Because he knows what you like. He knows how to keep you near. And he has slipped in.
Yes.
But what he don't know, that there's something in you. There's something that's in you that is going to come out of you when the right anointing hits you. Because your genealogy goes all the way back to Rahab. And you say, well, how? Because see, Rahab was a prostitute. Because see, I ain't around here doing these things. I don't carry myself like Rahab. But God took a prostitute and got the greatest thing out of her, because there was something in Rahab that connected her with us a long time ago. And so while we're sitting in heaven trying to figure out at what time God gonna birth us, God was already deposited something inside of her that was gonna set you free. Watch this. And so Rahab, after they destroyed the city, and it's amazing, because see, this is why we have to be real careful about positioning. It's because God, and it's amazing, because I thought about it, because First Lady, when we bought our house, I never considered, is the house in the right spot? I never thought about that. And so a lot of times when you do things, you go to purchase, that's why you go pray over everything. It's because even being a Christian, your house has to be in the right spot.
You better say that.
Well, and you can't go and do what everybody else do. It's because you have to be in the right spot. Amen. And so her house was on the wall deep. Now watch this. It's because when they went in and they destroyed the city, they killed everything, but she was the only one in her family that got saved. Wow. They didn't destroy her. And watch this. Because if they had destroyed her, they would have destroyed you. You say, how did I do that? If you look at her genealogy, her genealogy, she married somebody named Salmon. Watch this. Salmon was the father of Boaz.
Yes.
Go back. Boaz was the father of Jesse. Yes. Jesse was the father of David. Yes. David was the father of Solomon. And if I go to now, Solomon ended up being one of the fathers of Jesus Christ. So it's in her is holiness, and even though on the outside it was a prostitute, but there was something in her that God said, I cannot destroy her. We're going to save her because she's going to be the responsibility of many being saved. And so now what we're looking at a lineage of Jesus Christ, which was a prostitute. Our past. We don't want to, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to keep that a secret. And so a lot of guys, that goes to jail, I don't want nobody to know my record. And I've learned, see, sometimes that thing that God took you through, it was never for you.
Amen.
See, because watch this, because see, sometimes God has to set you aside, and though it may be prison, ask Paul about it, though it may be prison, God can do his greatest work, because what we remember about Paul, that most about Paul is when Paul began to pray at midnight, the prison doors open. So sometimes God will put you to the side so that he can do his greatest work. So though I'm in prison, I made some mistakes, even while you're in prison, God has begun to mold you. So when you come out, I come out not the same person I was, but I come out something greater. So now I got a record, but my record only say, as I was in there, I continued to worship God no matter what I was going through. You all were born with something made Rahab not afraid of the people that came to destroy their wife, than what I got. She was available. Why you didn't connect me with her? And so you say, why is God connecting you with people that are jacked up? And so God will put you with somebody that is jacked up, and it's there for a reason. And so some of y'all probably saying, you know what, you're right about that, because see, I don't want to say that now in church, but oh my God, he is jacked up. And y'all, golly, deep preaching my message today. He preaching that message today. It's because God gave you that jacked up person so that he can get the greatest blessing out of it. And so while y'all so busy trying to fight and war with each other, what you need to figure out, what is it that God has for us to do? Why are we connected together when I'm jacked up, she jacked up, and we're both a mess? What is God trying to make of this cologne when he come in? And they were settled with just a smell of cologne. But God said, I don't have just a smell of cologne for you. I got a certain person for you. But first, you got to start looking at the outer appearance and start looking at what's inside of them. You got to start looking at what's inside of them, because we all got outside issues. But baby, when you look at us eternally, we have a good heart. You have some good folks in this world, but because they don't square up to what you had imagined you should have, well, that's not what I was looking for, God. That's not quite what you said. But sometimes you got to take a person and you begin to work on them, and God will mold them to what you want them to be. But you got to first look at the inside of them. You making judgment, but you come from a prostitute. You want to talk about them? Oh, I'm sorry, but your great grandma, she was a prostitute. She around here getting paid for that. And I'm sorry, some of y'all women today, that's why y'all still ask me every time you see a man, well, he got to pay me. Because you got something from your great grandmother. She got paid, and now you think you should get paid. That's why you don't want it, girl. He ain't got no money. I'm sorry. Girl told me that, well, I need somebody that make $100,000, baby. You ain't nothing but your grandma, because that's what your grandma did the same thing. She wanted to get paid too. Now you try to look to get it. And I'm pretty sure when she seen it, she probably went in her little thing. You know how they do. She went to a little display. She probably did all that. Dancing. Yes, she smelled like cologne. She followed the trail. She knew what to do. She was trained by that, James. And watch this. It's so funny because some of us men the same way. Y'all don't even know that girl just crazy. She got 3 different personalities. You don't know who you gonna marry. You guys, which one is this, Lisa, or this one? Who this Frida? I mean, who walking down this aisle? Because I don't know who I'm marrying. And so they be so crazy, but they. And you believe it. And so you begin to focus on the outer person. She still say, you just don't do things. You don't do nothing like just nice and sweet and romantic and all this. Sometimes just run the path for it. I be like, man, you can run it yourself. I mean, nothing wrong with you. So I don't have all that. I don't have this outside stuff. And so my wife has managed not to look at the outside of me, but look at the inside. Because if you look at the outside, she's like, man, this boy ain't gonna never get it together. And so we've learned that about each other. I stopped focusing on how beautiful my wife is and how she keep her hair and how she dressed and what she has. I don't focus on that because guess what? Father Time will catch up with Mother Nature. And so now all that there, this and that, and bam, it's going to eventually go away. And so if I don't focus on what's inside of her, guess what? When she get in her 60s, I won't be attracted to her. What happens when God steps away from you? Because see, it's plenty of times where a lot of people say, you know, I've been running a long time. Yeah, you've been running from God, and God's still running behind you. But what happens when God says, you know what, I'm tired of this, I'm going to stop right here. You keep running, and when you get tired, you come back. Yes. And why most people get, and it's so amazing, so many people get their life in a hospital bed. Give your life to Christ before he lay you on your body. Say, God, I'm going to give you praise while I'm healthy now. I'm not going to wait for something to happen for me to give you praise. And I'm starting to see that side of the world. I couldn't understand it. And I was trying to tell Brian about it. You know, Brian, I thought this would be a little bit easier than that. And it's not the preaching. It's to sit there and to watch how folks take him for granted, knowing all that he has done for them. And I have made God my priority in my life. And sometimes I know my wife wants to do something, but sometimes there's a time when I say, babe, I cannot do it. It's because God is trying to do something. God is saying something, and God wants me to rest. He wants to do those. And so sometimes I have to tell my wife that I can't do certain things. It's because I got to spend that time with God, because He is so important in our life. And if I lose God, I lose it all. And so I look at Rahab. She probably had a very lucrative business, but she gave it all up because she had something in her. And it's so funny because sometimes you got to touch yourself. You know, you go to the doctor, do a checkup. Sometimes you got to check yourself. I say, God, where that thing at? I know it's there. It's just, where's that, God? Because I want to touch it. See, that thing is in you, and sometimes you got to feel yourself. You know, people like, well, what you doing with your stomach? Girl, I know it's something in there, and wherever it's at, I want to touch it because I can't wait for God to bring this thing out of me, because it's been there a long time. I've been carrying it, and I want to feel it. So what God is trying to do, God took that same dust that you trying to wipe off, that same dust you trying to get rid of, and God took it and made something out of it. And so when you were created from some stuff that aggravates folks right now, but God said, I'm going to take that thing and I'm going to make something so great out of it that when that folks see it, they're not going to realize or ever see anything of the dust. And that's why they call him the potter. Because a potter need a child. Because this is what a potter does. I can't stand up and do this, yeah. And so a potter, James, he takes mud, water, and clay, and he puts it on the wheel. Watch this, because see, right now, all of our life has been spiraling out of control. Yes. Man, I'm going through so much. I mean, my life is spiraling out of control. And what God does, God takes your life and He scoops it and He put it on this wheel. And so right now, I can't see what God is doing because I ain't nothing but some mud. I'm just mud. And watch this, because and if this wheel get in the fast, I'm going to slide back off. And so God will slow this wheel down so that He can make sure that He molds you right. And so He'll take this mud and He puts His hands on it and He begins to shape it. And some of our life, because if you ever seen anybody do a pottery wheel, sometimes if they add too much water, the pot falls. And so when you begin to lean over, you're about to give up, you're about to fall, God reached down and put more mud on it. Yes. Because God said, this pot that I'm going to make right now, this pot is going to be able to hold so much in it. And so I got to make this pot of strength. Yes. And He's molding you. And He's sitting there with your life, and He's molding you. And God is making you the finest pot ever. And so watch this, James. Because after God begins to mold you, He picks you up and He puts you in the oven. He said, God, well, wait a minute, God. Why would you put me in the oven? Because God said you would not be ready until you've been tried by this fire. Yes. And so until you get tried by this fire, you will never be ready to hold what I'm getting ready to put in you. And so what God is getting ready to put in you, you first have to be tried by that fire. So when He brings you out, I love it. Because when He brings you out and He puts you in the display cabinet, and folks walking by, that's a pretty pot. But what they don't realize is that that pot had to go through something to be a pot. And so that thing that pot has went through, it went through some mud, it went through some watering, and it went through some fire. And now that God has finished molding you, God has said you're ready to be used. I want the one with the drug. I want the one with the rap sheet. That's the one that I'm looking for. That's the one He's looking for. I'm looking for the worst one. We got too many uppity folks in the church.